Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the tribe gaming versus activity war, and I know most of you guys probably saw this war already on Lexnos or Carbonfin's channel, but I want to give you a little bit more insight because most of the plans in this war were from me. I can give you a little bit more of detail, like how do you actually plan in a really short amount of time in those 5v5 wars. And the point is that in those wars you have to attack after around about 15 minutes, which means the first plan needs to take only 15 minutes. Like you do not have like 24 hours to plan this. So I will talk to you like step by step through the different plans and explain a bit more like why did we came up with this? Why did we decide to go for this entry and not for something else? Like a little bit more like a analysis, which is going to be in this video. So I hope you guys will enjoy them, and let's take a look at the first of like the war events, because you can see I did the first attack, then Lexnos did in or jumped in. And I would talk you a little bit through the order of the attacks and why we did this order and why right now I'm most of the time doing the first attack, because this means I'm free to like help with more plans later on, and I do not have to concentrate anymore on my own plan. Basically, this is the idea behind that. So let's take a look at the first attack, which is going to be mine. And like I said, this one was the first attack in the war, which means it only took 15 minutes, or we only had time for 15 minutes to take a look on this base. So let's take a look at what I'm doing and why I'm doing that. First off, I love right now warbreaker charges because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to use those, which means not too many people are testing against them, which means a lot of warbreaker charges, a lot of jump charges, all this stuff is pretty common right now, but I see more and more people not using the warbreakers, and this is triggering me really hard because they're so strong. So you guys, you should learn this. Like wallbreaker charges, it's needed. Like go for it, test it in Legend League and for any challenges. Like I do not care, but test it somewhere. So what I'm doing on this one, I'm charging into this compartment. This wallbreak was actually not even close. Like it was super easy to do because there was like no Inferno Tower, no anything. And then what the next step is, I would take out all of this. And what this does, if I take out the upper side, you guys can see the pathing which is getting created into the town hall. And what this does as well, I should collect around 50% as soon as I'm hitting the town hall, which means I'm not relying on my miners to activate the town hall. So let's take a look at what I'm doing next. The next step is just to have the wizard at the top to make sure that the P.E.K.K.A. from my siege barrack is walking the right way. And a lot of people are asking me as well, iTzu, when do you start with your hybrid? Time-wise, you do not, like hybrid is not needing too much time. It's kind of quick. Like 120 should be the last second where you should go in. But something else, like a really good point where you can wait for I don't know, like the go time basically, is as soon as your own queen is taking out the enemy clan castle. That's a really important thing. So maybe let's get back and decide why did we go for this attack first and why did we not like go with something else. The reason why we did this attack was, first, it looked pretty good, like planning wise, and the second reason was that either way this should have been a 2-star. Like you want to have the first attack being a really safe 2-star because, like I said, you do not have as much time for planning those as you would like to. So this is super important going forward into those attacks, like having the more like the plans or like the attacks kind of early on where you know this is going to be a safe 2-star kind of, and then the more risky ones a bit later on. But this, you can see it's just a crazy big overkill. I could have probably used the same army for tripling another base, but either way, this is going to be a huge overkill. And this means we're taking a look at the next attack, which will be the attack of Lexnos, which was my plan as well. And this is going to be a Yeti blimp, and I will explain you exactly why we decided to go for this one. So this was the base. So why did we go for it and what was the idea behind that? So normally what you try to do if the town hall is that exposed like this one, you try to charge it. Like that's a pretty common way. Like you could charge it from this or from this way. But the problem with this is you have so many expos around the town hall, and you have so many like the Inferno Towers around there as well, which means you have so much damage around the town hall, which means the charging is really hard. And after that, the pathing is not too, it's not too good because we kind of expect it to be the Tesla farm. Like the Tesla farm should be over here, which means like this natural pathing, which you can see over here, is not existing because this Tesla farm is over here. At least that was our thought process. So what we thought, okay, maybe we should go for, I don't know, like E-Drags or Dragons, because like the pathing felt a little bit better for those. But in the end, we ended up with doing a Yeti blimp for the town hall, like taking just the town hall and doing the clan castle. And after that, just abusing once again those long allies in the core. And this was what Lexnos did in the end. And yeah, so let's take a look at what and why he's doing that. Another reason why we're not standing in hybrid in this time is because there's no reason for it. Like you have a lot of heroes in the core, which means if your miners are not following properly, then your Hawk Riders, which most of the time get a little bit ahead of the miners, are just basically swagged. Like you do not want to have your Hawk Riders getting too far into like a bunch of enemy heroes. Like that's not good at all. So this is why we decided, okay, let's bring some miners. And yeah, early rage just to make sure that the enemy queen or like your own queen is staying alive. And then the poison, we were kind of lucky that we didn't fall for the Sui. Like we thought about the Sui as well. Like you can easily get in here, take maybe even scatter shot an enemy queen. That's possible. But yeah, we weren't sure about that. And yeah, in the end it paid off kinda. Then the next step is to have the king on the outside, like clear all of this trash, and then the miners into the single front tower LA, which means your queen or like Lexnor's queen won't die basically. That's the idea behind that. So, but sadly, what happens is that the skeleton is luring the queen over, but luckily she's coming back, and now the perfect freeze in a second on the enemy queen and the warden, the defensive warden, which means his queen is staying alive. He has still a rage and another heal spell left, and now the reason why hybrid or like mine is also strong right now, even if the healers are switching or your queen is dying, something like that, it doesn't really matter because you have the healers switching and they're making sure that all of those miners are staying always alive. It's crazy. Like just take a look. He had to use the healer on the left side, but his miners are still staying alive because of the healers keeping them alive. It's crazy. So still so many miners left, and this means this is going to be another triple for us. Well done on Lex, and yeah, another triple. So let's take a look at the next base, which is going to be, we're just starting now off from number 5 with Eve check. He was actually the guy who attacked last, and this is going to be a Yeti smash. Like Yeti smash right now is super, like really strong. And I feel like Yeti smash is still the strongest attack in the game, but we are seeing a lot of hybrid. The reason for that is that hybrid is a bit more controlled, and at the same time, I feel like a lot of people have not really built against hybrid yet. Like, I don't know, I feel like people are trying to, they're not figuring out how to test hybrid properly. That's at least my gut feeling. For example, I got attacked by hybrid, like Queen Charge hybrid on my base, and I defended with like 83% because the entry was just baited and all of the spring traps on the back end. Like, it's not too hard to actually bait a hybrid attack. So, I don't know, I feel like all of the guys were saying like, oh, the game is too easy or like hybrid is too strong. I just think they're not able to test their bases properly. That's my gut feeling right now. I mean, every base is possible to triple it, but this is how it was. This is how it was on Tower 12 as well. This is just my opinion. I don't know. It could be wrong, but I don't know. But now let's get back to the attack of Eve check. He's placing the first jump. If I'm completely honest, I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the jump or if I would have used Warwick instead, because this means you would have needed to freeze the Inferno Tower, and then you have still one freeze left for the backend instead of the one jump. But I mean, who triples is doing the right thing, right? So that's how it works. But either way, his king is taking out the enemy town hall, and it's like perfect funneling. Like, his king took out the town hall, then the siege barracks is like working around over here. The Yetis now are tanking. The queen is over here, and now in a second the Hawk Riders will follow basically and will group up together with the Royal Champ to group up for the enemy single Inferno Tower, which is on the back end. So well done on Eve Check's part. Like it's so well planned. Like this attack is crazy, and now even like this small thing, like he's using the Royal Champion ability early to make sure that the Hawk Riders can pass the Royal Champ, to make sure that the single Inferno Tower is not locking on his Royal Champ. That's like 900 IQ, super smart attack, And well, this is going to be another triple, which means we have only two attacks left. And yes, there were triples because it was a perfect war. And let's take a look at those as well. So this means we're taking a look at number 3 next. And this was a really nice plan by Nick. And he's taking a jump in this one as well. I think it might have worked with wall breakers as well. But sometimes you should, I don't know, it's not worth to risk it. Especially because sometimes you can just do it when you have too many spells anyway. And on this one you can see, or you will see, that he's not using all of his rages. So why not do it? So the next thing which he's going to do is he's using a P.E.K.K.A. on the left side to make sure that the funnel for his queen is properly, and his queen will actually jump inside because he wants his queen to go into the multi-inferno tower and then lure the enemy clan castle, take those expos out, and forces his hybrid into the right side, into the enemy eagle. That's like the idea behind that. So nice jumping into the air defense, then after that taking out the enemy inferno tower, and after that he will go for the wizard tower and the expo. And the nice thing about that is that the enemy CC is coming out after the CC. The enemy CC is coming out after the expo is down. That's what I wanted to say, which means there's less damage on his queen, which means not another rage is needed. Next thing what he's doing is he's dropping the siege barracks at the 5 o'clock corner roundabout, and now he's sending in the miners. And you should always go with this deployment order, like miners in, then the warden, after that the royal champ, and after that you should go for the hawk riders. This is like the order which you should always go for. And now perfect heal spell to keep all of his troops alive over the enemy heroes, and then just a really nice rage to make sure that all of his miners are getting really quickly through those high HP buildings, which means like Eagle, X-Bow, and all this stuff. So nicely done over there. Another heal spell, perfectly placed. Take a look at the heal spell, like how it's still touching the Hawk Riders at the scatter shot. And well, the Royal Champ will finish things up, and this is going to be another triple. So really, really nicely done by Nick. And yeah, I mean, his queen did what she likes to do. She went through every single wall which she could find in the base. This girl sometimes is crazy. But either way, it was a triple, so we should not complain, right? Nicely done by him. Let's take a look at the next base, which is going to be on number 1. And this is once again a plan from me, which, once again, I have to explain this a little bit more. Like, we thought about doing like something like a charge into the multi-inferno tower, stuff like that. I will pause it over here really quickly. But the biggest issue we always had with, like, we could have had different charges, like charge in over here, somehow get into this part, and then like hybrid. The biggest issue we had always were this double scatter shots. Like, those double scatter shots are melting any miners, any hawk rider, and this is crazy. So sometimes you can't even heal through that. So this means using hybrid onto a double scatter shot compartment is basically suicide. So this is why I came up with the idea, why not just take out the single inferno tower, which is a bit annoying over here, and then just walk into the town hall, wall break in. This is why you can see it's a plan of mine, because I'm always using wall breakers. And then after that, the jump into the backend. This is basically the plan. So let's see whether and how Hex is executing the plan. Doing a really nice Yeti blimp in the beginning. Using a lot of, or like investing a lot of spells with the rages, or like with the one rage. Normally you can just drop the Yeti bomb without the rage. The reason why this is good that he dropped the rage is because he took out this air defense. And the reason why it was good is because you're starting kind of low with your queen walk, which means the healers might happen to have like the pathing like this, which means this air defense might be in range. And this air defense is really hard to take out because like the Yeti pathing, on the other hand, is something like this, which means they get really late to the air defense. And this means it was really good that he invested the rage to make sure that the air defense is down. So it was really good play on his part. So let's take a look. The wall break and the next set of wall breakers. A bit lucky over there, to be honest, that his queen is going for the wall and not wrapping, like going around to this wizard tower. But either way, it worked, so that's all fine. Jump spell plays, rage, warden ability, nicely done. Well done with the block on the eagle shots. and this means all of his bonus and Yetis are staying alive. Now the Royal Champ, nicely done on the Inferno Tower, which is set on multi, and there are no heroes around, which means like the Royal Champ has a lot of value, and you can see over there, there's already the first ground skeleton, and now everything is getting into the double scatter shot. But with Yetis, like, you do not care too much. Like, if I'm completely honest, like, it's annoying, but still, like, you have the healers on you, and you do not care too much. So this is way better, really nicely executed by Hex, and this means this is going to be another triple for us. So many Yetis still alive in the back end, even though all of the healers died, and even though the Royal Champ died, there are so many freaking Yetis alive. It's crazy. So King's still alive, clearing out the trash on the outside, and this means this is going to be another triple. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, because that's it. I will sadly not stream for the next couple of days because I will concentrate on the Clan War League, and I won't show anything until the Clan War League is over, of like attacks or whatever. I mean, you guys can understand it, because this is the first qualifier, like the qualifier for the qualifier of the 2020 World Championship for Clash of Clans. So this is pretty important. And yeah, I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope I see you guys back tomorrow. And until then, guys, see ya and bye bye.